Friends, in this video I will show possible trades on metals that you can use to make money today or in the coming days. We will be talking about four metals: gold, silver, platinum and palladium, where similar movements are forming. And as of February 19th, we have an almost ready setup that you can use. I'm not setting a specific goal in this video. To show you a global markup and expectations for 2 weeks or a month ahead, you can watch a separate video about that, which I have already recorded. Today we're only talking about local prospects because the market has moved. And indeed the situation deserves an update from my side. We start with gold, and here pay attention to a very interesting fact. The initial decline and the subsequent one that occurred, the angle of the decline and its dynamics. The momentum of the decline slowed as the second correction was forming. So what did we do here in terms of markup? The situation is assessed as the formation of a part, A and then a WXY pattern in which, in fact, our movement ended. It's possible that a triangle will form a bit later, meaning there could be a small correction, but overall, the situation still favors continued growth. And the only area of resistance we have is around 5,100, because here we have accumulation, a volume level left over from previous, let's say, trends. Moving on. During the decline, the reversal set of Andrew's pitchforks that I built gave us a price reaction. In the first case, during the initial pullback. And as of today, February 19th, we have a breakout. The presence of a breakout here gives us reason to assume that growth is already taking shape. Again, a couple of minutes ago, I mentioned the triangle that could be forming here. I'm specifically waiting here. I don't have a trade in gold yet. I'm waiting for a correction to form so I can use the local three-wave structure for a subsequent entry. As soon as it appears, I'll act. In terms of targets, we have a key zone at the 5,200 to 5,250 to 5,280 levels, and it will be reached in the event of a breakout, 5,100. Accordingly, right here, once we get a trade, we can work towards the next target. The only thing is, as part of trade management, we must definitely use shift pitchforks, and the price should not go beyond their boundaries. That is, our current setup will look like this, and if the price moves beyond the boundaries, we simply close the trade. This means something didn't go according to plan here, and it's time to wrap things up. Moving on to silver, it's worth noting that the situation is similar. The only difference is the addition of the PDIP pattern, which is an inverted head and shoulders. The current price has reached the accumulation of the first zone. I'm expecting a correction somewhere in this area. There is no trade on silver yet. It will be set up right here, exactly at the consolidation. And then we aim for the 87 level as the main target. This is a fairly standard target when returning to previous areas, that is, after a decline within even a corrective move. That is essentially in all metals. Right now, we're just saying that even if a correction upwards forms, we can still take advantage of these opportunities and actually capture these trades. But let me remind you, first and foremost, it's about risk, and more risk. And second, you must have a setup from which you enter. We need a stop loss level. And in fact, when a local three-wave pattern forms, that's always the ideal way for us to jump into the market and be able to control our trades. Next, we have platinum. Here, it's basically a similar story. It's a breakout of the trend line, marking the end of our downward movement. During the process, when we had a decline according to the pitchforks, I was also monitoring for a breakout beyond the boundaries. In other words, the three-wave pattern has already formed, and at the moment we are breaking through the previous high. So this is a conservative entry, which in fact I use quite often. The accumulation is around 2.240, which can be used. As a reference point it will touch, and then, as you can see, the pitchforks. So, as soon as the price goes beyond the boundaries, if that happens, we forcibly close the trade, which means the correction here will end early, and basically we exit. So that's the plan. The last asset is palladium. Here we have a triangle, and if you're in a hurry to criticize me for calculating the triangle incorrectly, let me digress a bit and show you the quotes on the American market. Look, on the futures and on most sources, the minimum was formed on February 2nd, and after that, a consolidation forms, which is actually the so-called wave B before the continuation of the upward correction. And going back to my TVC marks, which I use, I don't have that extremum. Accordingly, I just dragged it over and built the triangle. The triangle is being traded at our breakout point B, and along the way, there are several levels that might interest us. That's 1800. But it's important to understand that if we see good momentum in gold, silver, and other metals, there's a chance we could open the way higher towards the 1900 area. Accordingly, this asset requires closer monitoring, even though the setup here is more or less transparent. So, friends, as a result of this video, in 5 minutes I have explained to you the current situation in the metals market, the levels that are relevant at the moment, and the way to manage positions. All of this was done using VIL and the tools that I use every day. Please use this information wisely and calculate your risks properly. Don't go all in with your entire deposit so that it won't hurt later. Other than that, I wish everyone good luck. Let's earn money together. If you need more information, look for the link to the Telegram channel below this video. Subscribe and let's work together. Goodbye, everyone.